So I was just quickly rewatching that Ghost Valley one just to see exactly what did happen to Patrick. Sorry, to Carol. How he managed to lose an entire lap on the last lap. Let me slap this one into Twitch chat. Why am I not hearing Paul?
You're hearing me, I'm here.
Okay. Sorry, I can see a little green line go around yours, but I couldn't hear anything, so I thought I'd messed up my audio. Yeah, that last lap of GV1, it was quite crazy to rewatch exactly what happened on that.
I'm gonna watch that now. Watch that back myself now in a moment.
So Patrick Mark.
Yeah.
Patrick's got to be the favourite here. He's got quite a lot of two-player GP experience.
I wouldn't be counting off Mark at all. He'll put in a good performance here. He's been one that's improved all the way through the 4 days.
Yeah, that was very noticeable in the battle mode day, especially.
Yeah.
He seemed to be learning as he was going on that one.
Yeah. No, he's doing very well. He's even trying to implement the water slide mechanic, and he took the first track. Well done. Very well done.
First track's always a nice nerve settler in any cup, really. It kind of it sets you up, and it then makes the second track a really big one, because if you can take the second track as well, you kind of then know that you just need to win one of the next three. As we move on to
him with a chance.
Track 1 and 2, generally known as the best track in the game. Nice zoom start for Mark.
You see, I love this track, adore it. GP kind of sullies it a little bit for me, and I prefer VL1. VL1 is just amazing.
Prairie Dogs.
Oh, I've just obliterated Prairie Dogs. Oh no.
So Patrick's in 4th place, he's behind Mark, but you look in his item box, you can see he's got a feather. That feather basically lets you skip nearly an entire lap on this track. So even though Patrick's behind, he is actually ahead in reality here.
Koopa.
Now he's both ahead on the track and situationally as well.
He's just waiting now to do it on lap 5, which is interesting. Mark just needs to try and make sure that he gets second. That's all he should care about right now.
Yeah, so because Patrick doesn't do boosting, he'll lose a fair bit of speed doing the feather, so it's probably why he does it on lap 5.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Mark, Koopa is identifying as Yoshi right now.
And he's probably not going to get second place.
Nope.
So that's should be a swing to a 3-point lead now to Patrick.
So we're in for a good match here.
So my views on Star Cup are F Star Cup. For me, it's especially in PAL, it is the worst cup in GP by a long way. In NTSC, I don't mind it, but in PAL, I hate Star Cup. I
like 80% of Star Cup, except for Bowser Castle 3.
It's got its redeeming factor is it has Choco Island 2.
And BL1. Oh, beautiful toad snipe there. Right, now I see another one. He needs to grab it, he needs to grab that.
So
realise.
Yeah, so if you do get shrunk by a mini shroom, you can grow again by running over another mini shroom. So looks like Mark doesn't know how that mechanic works.
Yeah. It's basically if you poison yourself, the only way to unpoison yourself is by poisoning yourself again.
That makes perfect logical sense to me.
Yep.
The poison obviously poisons the poison.
And makes a poison, which becomes a remedy. I'm glad now that we can give genuine medical advice on a Twitch stream.
So that was a very, very big thing in
Yeah.
terms of this cup here. So Patrick's lead's gone from 3 points to 12 points now.
Yep.
So Patrick kind of knows even if he finishes second on the next 2 tracks, he's guaranteed a win in this cup. He really needs to avoid ranking out on Bowser Castle 3, which, if there's one track in a game where you might be ranking out on, it's this one here.
I'm delighted that people enjoyed the explanation, but I'm going to say, please, do not try this at home. It's not a good idea. It's not right to do.
Yes, I think our medical advice is right up there with Donald Trump's in terms of do not follow this.
Yeah.
So Patrick missing the zoom start on Bowser Castle 3 makes this a very tough track. Bowser Castle 3 can be okay if you're out in the lead. As soon as you're in amongst the CPUs, it just becomes a living hell of a track.
This track is a living hell anyway.
Now, out in the lead in GP, because GP removes half of the thwomps that you'd get in time trials or match race, it becomes very playable until you catch up with the CPUs to lap them. So the ideal BC3 ability is to be good enough to be out in the lead, but not so good that you have to keep lapping the CPUs.
Yeah, Mal, I wish that I could be so good that I could have to lap the CPUs and have that problem. But unfortunately, I just have problems with the track and with the CPUs.
So Patrick's managed to navigate himself. It took him three whole laps after missing that zoom start, but he's now navigated to the front of the pack.
Yeah.
Mark's still in and amongst the CPUs. He's going to be getting banged around a lot. Oh, went for the tight inside line. That's difficult. At least in GP there is no thwomp there on that inside line that you'd normally get in time trials. Oh, that banana.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
That's quite convincing there. That's good. That's good for Patrick from missing the zoom start and having to claw his way through all the CPUs. Yeah. He got to the lead at the start of lap 4 and then just kind of held it going through.
I have a question for you, Mal. The 3 versions of Super Mario Kart, the PAL region, the American cartridge, and the Japanese version. How would you rank the 150cc difficulty of completion?
US and Japanese are almost identical. The only difference I've ever noticed is on Bowser Castle 3, where I think they nerfed the CPUs a bit for the US version. On the Japanese version, the CPUs will basically stick with you the entire race and quite often finish with a 1:30 time. On the US version, they tend to only get like mid to high 140s, so you get a bit of leeway there. In PAL is the hardest of the GPs by far because they rework the game mechanics for PAL, and acceleration in PAL is absolutely garbage. So in NTSC you can kind of afford to run over dirt and grass and miss zoom starts, and you can get back up to speed fairly quickly. In PAL, any speed loss just takes forever to get to full speed.
But for a beginner player playing, which would be the easiest 150cc to complete?
NTSC, US or Japanese, doesn't really matter, except if you struggle on Bowser Castle 3, then you might want to play the US version.
Yeah, because when we were doing the seeding run for the speed game tournament, I actually ranked out in that run on Bowser Castle 3.
So for me, I prefer to play the Japanese version because the CPUs rubber band so much on Bowser Castle 3 that you don't really tend to have to lap them much. Whereas on the US version, they don't rubber band so hard, and so you come around to lap them a lot more, and that's when I get into a lot of difficulties on Bowser Castle 3. So for somebody who struggles on Bowser Castle 3, play the US version. If you don't struggle but you don't like having to drive past lapping CPUs, play the Japanese version. Patrick, completes his cup with a win. So he dropped 3 points on Cooper Beach 1, but came back strong on the next 4 tracks. Mark kind of had some good races, some difficult races.
Yeah.
Patrick takes the win.
Now GG to both players.